exist, but that don't classify as life. Always did right.
Thank you for joining us again this week on It's the Truth, whether you like it or not, right here on IntellectualRadio.com. We're returning this week with some amazing people in our studio live right here. We have number one, our host for the show, which is, who are you, sir? Introduce yourself.
No, it's funny. Pastor Chanel Austin. What's up, y'all? Then she came back. She was
Because
outside.
you realized you couldn't make it without
She
her.
had a cup outside, and we just felt like, it was a need to just bring her back because she,
Because your life was just
she was on the ground. You don't need enemies. But we have two amazing guests on the show today. We have Anthony DeVoe and we have Danielle Robinson. Say what's up to the people.
Hello, guys.
Interesting day.
Very interesting.
It's going to be an amazing day. We are back, y'all, for part 2 to Is Cheating Curable? We had an amazing show last week and we talked about it, and we got a lot of conversation going, to the point that after the show, I received a lot of inboxes. People were asking me a lot of questions on this subject. And so we want to continue to give conversation to it. I thought that we would definitely give more conversation to it. So I decided to bring a couple in, an amazing couple. Tell them about yourself. What's up with you, Danielle? What are you doing now?
Well, I am Danielle L. Robinson. You can find me on all social media channels at Adore Her Inc. I just empower women to be their best them. I spend my daily life searching to live on the beaches of the world. I do some Bitcoin investing, which keeps me on top of water.
Right.
And I just raise my kids. I'm a mompreneur. And
mompreneur. I like that.
I'm a mompreneur.
Cute.
I'm important instilling to my kids, helping their dreams come true, and keeping a little time.
Awesome.
I just host events, bringing ladies to have real conversations.
Yeah, I like your ministry. I had a privilege of speaking on it one day on the phone, so it is just amazing, how you connect with so many women across the country. You have women across the country,
I
not
have,
just local.
Uganda. We're in Paris as well.
Wow.
Literally teams and ministries in those particular countries. I'll be going to Uganda this July at the end of the month to connect with a huge women's ministry there, to have these conversations all over the world. So yes, we're local. Have a group in Houston, Atlanta, the simple major cities, but we're deep here in Chicago. But my focus is to reach out beyond here and to get into the world, because God is everywhere and women are hurt everywhere.
That's right.
So Adore Her Inc. is just that. We just adore each other as women. No cake cat, no riff-raff. What is it that you really deep-rooted need to talk about? Let's get to the source and then let's heal from it together.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna get more information about that, because I really want people to plug with you guys, after that. Tony, what's going on with you, man?
Just returning into the country and just excited to be here. What am I involved in right now? Of course, private investor. I've been traveling a lot for like the last 18 months. I've probably been in 40 different countries in the last 18 months.
Awesome.
And I just finished writing a book about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency technology. So just living a laptop lifestyle, so I say, from the beaches of the
laptop
world,
lifestyle.
Making money while you're on the move, and keeping the party going. And I'm just excited to be back in the city. I'm glad the weather broke here, because I really wasn't feeling like coming outside 2 weeks ago until the sun started to come out and warmed up a little bit. But should be an interesting day.
Yeah, we're going to bring you back on the show, because we want to get more conversation to investing in the Black community and how important that is to Bitcoin and all that stuff. So we definitely, but today we're here and we got a hot topic. Is cheating curable? Hot topic. Now, you guys have been together for how long?
So we've known each other for about 14 years now.
14 years, okay.
We've been rocking strong with each other, connecting our chemistry for about 3 years so far. And
Yeah, 14 years. It has been that
I
long.
know.
Okay.
We've known each other.
Yes,
We met
ma'am.
each other at my first job, I think, at T-Mobile.
T-Mobile. Okay.
Back 14 years ago. And that's all she wrote.
Okay. Marriage in the works.
Of course.
Of course. All right. Look at him. He got a big toe. He got a big smile on his face. All right. All
Coming,
right. Good.
coming
Good.
soon.
Good.
That's my best
Enough.
friend here, man.
Good. Awesome. Oh, that's good. So last week we talked about it. We talked about is cheating curable, and we came to the conclusion that it is. You know, people who have cheated can stop cheating. And so today we really want to talk about, because I had some questions that came my way, and they talked that there was questions concerning people who are in the process, who are going through that phase of being cheated on, who are being cheated on currently, what to do, how to manage it, and all that. And then I had someone bold enough to say, "Hey, listen, I'm caught in it. I'm cheating. You know, can a man be in love with two women? You know," he said, "I feel I love one. I love the one that I've been with, but I'm also tied to the one that I'm messing around with." And so we want to talk about that. I know Kenyatta got a whole lot to say about this subject, so I'm gonna let you start. What do you think? What do you say to a person that's been cheated on?
A person that has been cheated on can control how they handle that. And what I mean by that, if you're being cheated on, your choice is to deal with it or not deal with it. That's your choice.
Have you ever been cheated on?
Have I? Absolutely. Absolutely.
How did you handle it?
Well, I stayed for a while. And which one of them? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, which one you want to know about? But I chose to stay in several of them, to be honest with you, even after it was blatantly presented to me, you know, because you put yourself in this place of denial, like, well, maybe it wasn't what I thought it was, or just whatever. And then I had situations where after so long, it's like, man, I'm out of here. You know, enough is enough. But that's a decision that you have to make for yourself, and you gonna get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You'll get out of it.
Let me speak on that, because I know it's probably some men watching this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I always say.
Be careful, Danielle here, man.
Yeah.
No, I was just playing. Go ahead, but go ahead.
I have
well.
to keep it 100,
Yeah, go
because
ahead.
what happens is she just said something powerful. She said she stayed for a while
I did.
and then she left. Now, this is what I believe. And this is really, it is a fact, because you can look at anybody, this would be what their situation is. Based on, and I always say this on any show, anything I go on, a relationship has three components, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a physical component of whether you are physically attracted to someone. You have a emotional component, whether or not you get along with the person and like even being around that person. I know some people that love each other, but they hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get into that in a second, because that's a whole other little piece. Then you have the spirituality component, where, you know, are you growing around the person that you're with, right? So I think what happens is when that actually cheats on you, right, you sort of have an internal look at yourself and say, is there something that's actually wrong with me? It's the first thing you question yourself, right? But in some cases, I don't really believe that a person will split if, keyword if, they feel that they are growing in the space where they are with the individual. Now, if you feel like the person that you're with, you may not be growing with that person, or you feel like that person, there's no further growth to go, or you feel like, you know, that person's value to you in some type of way is diminished to the point where you can't recover it, then whenever that self-discovery happens, I think that's the point where you're going to part and decide to leave. But I think a lot of people who do see that there's more value in what they have left in a relationship, those are the people going to tough it out and progress forward. Because I'm going to be honest, I have not met a couple yet. See, I'm all about keeping it 100. I haven't met a couple yet that does not deal with some type of cheating, whether that be emotional cheating. Let me explain what I mean by that, because some people classify, say, cheating as when you are physically with some other individual beside the person that you're supposedly committed with. But you have emotional cheaters. Women are very good for that. Well, they may be seeing you, but they're sneaking around talking to exes or trying to keep friends with people they dealt with in the past. These are emotional attachments, cheating, right? Yeah, so this is in their mind. So whether or not it's physically manifesting, it's already subrooted there, right? So with these things, people don't want to admit to in a lot of cases, or they don't like to talk about, right? So one thing that I do say, that the number one thing, me and Danny talk about this a lot, you know, you just want to make sure that the person is being honest with you. Now, you want to have 100% honesty, right? Now, what I always tell people is that you have to develop a understanding with the person you with where you can accept whether you're getting the maximum amount you're going to get from that person. 'Cause I say any relationship that's good, I believe in the 80-20 factor, meaning that you're going to get 80% of what you want and 20% probably what you can't stand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like some women going to tell you know what? Let the toilet seat down before you leave out. Now, he may do everything else right in the house, but just something he may not never, ever in his whole lifetime do. He may never remember
And
doing
that's
small
simple
things.
stuff, though. I mean, baby, listen, when you come out, if you're giving me 80% of what I need in this relationship, and the only issue that I have with you is that you don't let the toilet seat down and you leave your drawers next to the bed, baby, let me just pick them up, throw them in the hamper, and just drop the seat when I go back down there. I'm not talking about petty stuff. I'm talking about you just not gonna have 5 women and me. We're not doing that. You just not gonna have babies outside of this relationship and me.
Hold on now.
Let me say that.
I mean, I'm just saying, there's something
That is true.
that
Now,
you're
let me
just not
say
gonna give up on.
now, I'm glad she said that.
Absolutely.
Because you know what that's called? And I just started using this term lately. I've always thought about it, but I said you need to know the person that you're dealing with. You need to know their ethos.
Mm-hmm.
What is their bottom line things that they will not set or do?
Well, let me say this. You know, in counseling, what I've discovered, even in my own personal experience, that cheating is really not the deal breaker. Now, some people can handle that. You know, some people can really deal with that aspect of being cheated on. But I think what plays a part in that is the other stuff that comes along with that, the continued disrespect, the continued disregard for one's feelings, and just you know, I've cheated before. I've been cheated on, you know, and so I know what's a deal breaker and not. And I know that in certain cases when I did cheat, you know, I think that in certain cases where the relationship ended, in that case where the relationship ended, is because of my continued disrespect towards that person, that I disregarded that person's feelings, and it's because I was caught up in that. And like I said last week, and I want to replay this, that what I thought when a person cheats is deeper than what people think it is. Like, I can see someone, I saw the person, I said, man, this person fine, I like, man, you know, this person may have said some things I like, but what I discovered later on in life is that there were some deeper issues in me, because cheating is really a selfish act, but it also points to some other deeper issues within you, commitment issues. Listen, insecurity issues. It really does. So how long you guys been together?
For about 3 years. And I want to I'll talk about what you just said, because it's true. It's not the actual act of cheating with so many women, right? Because we can forgive you. We can get over that, the fact that there really was another woman. But the big issue is the lie. You know, the continued disrespect. I see this. I know this. I know this in my being because God told me, or whoever, the hair in the bathroom or the floor.
Your hair is not that long.
The kiss in the picture. I saw it.
You said hair on the bathroom on the floor, the kiss in the
You could tell it's taken out of the comb and dropped in the
continued, repeated disrespect, and then the lie that this ain't what you see.
Absolutely.
Right.
This what I say.
Yeah.
That is the breakup. That's the point. That's the disrespect.
So have you guys, you know, so our listeners and viewers know I'm not putting them on the spot, but we did ask them if there anything off limits. So I will ask this question. Did you all ever have to deal with this?
Absolutely. How did
you feel, Danielle,
about the beginning of our relationship?
Okay.
I'll allow you to share that story if you don't mind being transparent. we kind of began a bit rocky that way, but let me bring you guys in. You know, we met 14 years ago. Best of friends from then till now, still is, right? We just decided to bring this bond together. So when we first got together, you know, I was doing my thing, he was doing his thing, but at some point we decided to commit. But I'll allow him to share our first Valentine's Day together.
You cheated on Valentine's Day, man?
This is
cheat, but
I didn't cheat, but that's a story. I gotta keep it 100 because this is what you got to do. I mean,
let's keep it real, man.
This is my best friend, so we can do this. You know what I'm saying? But everybody not gonna be able to probably handle these kind of situations. But she said she was doing her thing, I was doing my thing, right? And then this, you get to this point where you've made a decision as a man, you say, you know what, this is what I want to be with, right? But the problem is you may have had all these established links to these different women, right? And that was my situation, to be honest with you, because I'm a person, I believe that for some time, that if you don't date enough, you will never really know what you actually really are looking for or like, right? Because you need to really know what it is that actually fulfills you and what does not, right?
Now, let me pause you right now, because I want to ask you a question. You just brought some up. You said you were still attached to some things.
Yes.
So is it good for, but let me back up even further than that, because you said you were doing your thing.
And I was doing
You were
mine.
doing your thing.
Right.
So when you cheated, did you guys establish that you guys were going to be committed?
So I think this is how this happened. I went to Atlanta. I'm a traveling sister. I'm a traveling sister, and he's a traveling brother, right? So I went to Atlanta, and I'm not opposed to traveling with my male friends, right? And so this particular time, I went with a group of friends, and some was male, some was female, but particularly, I did this, and when I came back, it was decided that we should be a bit more serious, and be committed to each other, and so
did y'all have that conversation?
We did have that conversation. It kind of happened, but we did have the conversation because I was confused. I'm like, what do we? I don't know. We really was just kind of, we was kicking it. We was buddies.
Okay.
All right, buddies. But we were keeping it light. I wasn't tripping about him being found. He wasn't really tripping about going out of town. But when I came back, I guess we both realized, like, man, like, I really want to just kind of spend some time with you. Or he realized, I don't want you going out of town with other people. Let's just bring this together. So it was just consciously said, but it wasn't a hard conversation. We just began to live our life daily. Really, we just began to spend our life together daily.
So can couples survive with being still connected to that past?
Let me tell you what happened. Go ahead. What happened. So it was a magnificent Valentine's Day.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful. I mean, we were out. It's a great time, great locations and everything. So I get
carved out hearts with fire.
Yeah, it was marvelous. Glass blowing. I mean, it was the ideal, perfect day. It was so perfect. Something had to go wrong. I had that crazy feeling. I said, this is just going too good. I said, something is going to come in as a monkey wrench. So, ironically, somebody that I was dealing with, and I hadn't even seen that day at all. I hadn't even talked to. It was crazy. Pops up when we're coming back from the date. It pops up at my house, right?
At the house.
And, I mean, just high dramas.
At his house.
In my house. Rides down on me.
Rides down.
Rides down on me like, I ain't got no car all day. And all this.
Out the car.
Yeah, so that was.
I'm getting.
But again, these are these links. When you have all these linkages, right? So I was like, oh my God, this is just ridiculous, right? I said, man, I don't want this to be when the holiday actually goes, but things happen, right? And again, we had really just started dealing with each other seriously at this point. It really was the truth to that, and but it didn't stop there.
Valentine's Day, guys, by the way,
right? So that situation under control. And listen, Shanera, I kid you not. You put out one fire. The next following morning.
So these links just kept coming back.
Oh my God!
So let me ask you.
Not kept coming back. Just how Valentine's Day is. It is that one day out of the year where anyone who has any thought that they are connected to you is expecting to be acknowledged. A woman just expects this in the door, and I do to that, right?
And that's okay. That's understandable because you've had these connections with them,
right?
And until you establish and let these other links know that they are now the weakest link that they are no longer connected,
this is true.
They still feel like they have a right to do that. So guess what? Even in her position, when she popped up, we just had this conversation and said that we're gonna be solid. So you can come, boo, but let me tell you the conversation that you're getting ready to have. You're going to let her know that her link has been disconnected. Now, 6, 7, 8 months, she's still not popping up like that. Because now she's popping. See what I'm saying? But is she popping for a reason? You gotta be popping.
I have to keep it 100 with you. When you say pop up,
popped up in the car, got out.
No. I've experienced pop ups, but I have to be honest. the pop-ups came because
There was no
connected.
I was
honesty.
still connected.
You
I still was
You didn't let
connected.
them know I got
still,
this going
and
on.
it wasn't like, oh my God, what are you doing? That person popped up because they popped up with
crying with their heart
Let me
hurt.
tell you what happens with men. And men who are listening to this gonna be able to relate to what I'm saying. A man will disconnect from a woman, but will never say it to the woman. He is just silent.
I agree.
And this happens
I
all the
agree.
time. And this is how
I
it
agree.
works. Okay?
I agree.
Now let me finish.
And
Let
I'm
me
gonna help
finish.
you with
Let me
that
finish.
silence too.
The
Let me
difference,
tell you
the
why.
difference is a woman will tell you,
Absolutely.
I'm through fooling with you.
But can I say what?
Oh no, but when a man is done fooling with you, and it may not be that you did anything particularly to him, but when he's just made a decision, he's not fooling with you. He's not gonna. He usually want to have that conversation with you. He just withdraws from you. And I'm not saying that that's right, but I'm just telling you this was what put me into the positions that happened at that time. Was that okay? I'm not feeling like I want to be dealing with these folks, but I never was like, okay, let me call this individual and say, you know what, I'm through. I'm done with it. You know, and I fought myself for that, and I don't got no problem saying that. But I do know that these are things that you learn over time as you just grow in any relationship, because men are a different type of communicator a lot of times. Women, go ahead, though.
My nerves.
Let me, before you get into listen, we're on IntellectualRadio.com. If you have any questions, comments, please feel free to call in at 708-223-8953. That's IntellectualRadio.com. It's the truth, whether you like it or not. Call in at 708-223-8953. You may have some questions for Tony and Danielle or any of us. Whatever comments you have, please feel free to call in. What you gonna say, Keon?
I want to chime in because what you said about men just being silent, and the reason Kenyatta, I'm just gonna say this is my opinion. I have this. The reason they don't say anything is because if they don't say it, they leave that avenue and that door open to say, I can come back whenever I feel
and they
like
come
it.
back.
And the closure never happens. And guess what? Because we never finalize, this relationship is over and that door is still cracked. If my emotions have not shut down with you, I'm gonna let you back in.
And they come back.
Now,
Do they or do they not come back?
Let me just address that.
Answer this question. Do they or do they not come back?
I have had situations. Hold on. No. Let me say something.
Hey, listen, I want y'all to
Come on, my sisters, call in.
Call in because I'm listen. We keeping it 100. 708 895
let me say this because I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this because what we want to do, we really want to produce healthy relationships, healthy marriages. Because our community is littered. Our community is littered with broken relationships, and people really aren't getting help. So we need to give conversation to these things. And I want to say something about this linkage thing because I understand about that. Most of the time, we stay connected or linked to certain people primarily because of certain things that's going on within us. That we have to be honest with ourselves and say what's going on within us. Why am I still holding on over here and trying to hold on over here?
Yes.
And the reality is that there are certain things that we need to address within us, because we can say all day long, and he's right. Men, we are guilty of we can disconnect and not say nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
We can just say, and hopefully women get the picture.
That's right. She said,
men don't want to blow the pee though. They don't want to leave the room. The door open. They want to leave the door.
No, right? That is not true.
You didn't tell her to go away. She keeps calling you all day. You did not leave the door.
Now you gonna let me answer the question? Are we gonna do it? Let me answer the question. Now this is the fact of the matter. Okay.
I'm listening.
Colin got
It's getting hot in here. Please call me.
Men have to be honest about this. Now, in some cases, what you're saying is true. In some cases.
And that's
in your case. Let's just talk about your case.
In my case, I have never been a closer outer like that, whether I wanted to maintain it or not. I've always treated it almost always the same. Like, I'm just going to stop answering your phone. I'm not going to try to call you. I'm not going to communicate with you. You should know this already. I'm not the person. I don't claim to be like, oh, you know what? I'm just not feeling this where I work. I just have never done. I'm 41 years old. I've never done.
But you know what we have to understand as men.
And then you have women popping up on you 3 on Valentine's Day.
But there's some people
what we have to understand this as men. See, and I want women to understand this too. When a woman shut down on us, we get the message.
Right.
But as men, we need to understand that just because we shut down, the woman may not get that message. And that, listen, at the end of the day, we have to see it from a woman's perspective. That's how we're gonna hear stuff. Now, I want to give you conversation with, because you were on there on Valentine's Day.
I was there.
So how did you feel? Tell me what was going through your head.
It was unbelievable. One, I understood our situation. I loved him. It was really our first, hurrah out, right? And we kind of was still peeling the onion at that time, right? So, it was so unbelievable, because I pulled up after this beautiful, glorious day. I'm looking good, he looking good, smelling good. We just did the most beautiful things ever, perfect. And we come back, about to go and have a great sinful night. And
you was about to do what, baby?
Have a great sinful night.
Oh, Father, forgive them for
forgive me, Father.
They not what they do. Amen. Go ahead.
But yes, and then so a female rose up on him after he politely about to escort me out the door. Such a gentleman he is. And she pops out, a little mini me, a little midget me, pops out and just So I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Had no idea. So that happened. So we go upstairs to finish our night.
Okay.
We
talk about that. I'm like, wait, I'm just at this point. I'm like, get this out of here. Let's get this out of here, please. But I've accepted that that's what it is.
Okay.
Tomorrow, it should be something different. Okay. So we move on. But
can I tell my story?
No, let her finish.
There's a knock on the door. There's a knock on the door while we're finishing up our night. And there's a different person there.
Okay.
So,
the problem one.
She slept over in the hallway.
Let me get this straight.
So and listened in.
So you had
continuing.
So wait, let me get this straight. So you pulled up and one popped up.
Yes.
Right.
You escort that one out.
Right.
You get upstairs and another one pop up.
And a different one.
That's a player, man.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask this question.
I can see one, man, but geez.
No, because you guys date a whole lot of women at one time before you commit to somebody. And that's the sad thing. A lot of men have multiple women.
No. But
that's not bad. If you don't commit, this is what I'm saying. Listen to me.
What I say earlier. I say the problem, I'm telling you what happens a lot of times. This is why I say
you don't
I
make
know
it
that I can
known.
get into a happy space. Well, you got two issues we're talking about. One, the man got to find himself. Two, when he finds himself, he better know what he likes when he does. Otherwise, there's some men I know that go all the way through their entire life, 70, 80 years old to their grave.
Okay, but let me
and still have not found what they like, and so therefore they'll see 10, 12 people at the same time. It happens.
Okay, but guess what? If you establish, if me and John meet, and in the process of John finding himself, he says, well, babe, you fine, I'm fine, I'm vibing with you, you vibe.
No,
we're not doing a pop-up. Or you handle that pop-up the right way.
Understand something. What did I say has to happen? I said when something is newly established, you always are going to have these links that you still have to deal with, even when you've made the decision.
And guess what?
Let me be honest. I also had the links. That's why we're still together today, right? Because his links popped up, mine didn't. Right?
This doesn't matter.
I also had those links. His just popped up because he didn't let my links know though. His links did not, so they wouldn't dare pop up.
We had
so me as the one,
and this is what I'm saying, and that's
going to the throne, letting them know King D is in the building. Okay,
follow me. That's what it was.
And then the problem
so it's cheating curable, right?
I'm gonna say this. The sad part about all of this is that there's a major, we talked about this last week on the show, there's a major shift that's taking place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where women would stay, like I think one of our new co-hosts, Simmons, Anthony Simmons, he came on the show, he talked about how his grandmother his grandfather cheated excessively on his grandmother,
Oh, my
and how
dear.
she just stayed and she didn't,
Oh, yeah.
she didn't go out and do that, cheat back on him and stuff. She self-medicated in other ways.
That was my grandmother.
And yeah, that's
She
how
had 2 kids on her.
Yeah, that's how it was back
Everything.
then. But now in this new day and age, what we're seeing is that I've seen what I've counseled. There's a major shift that's taking place, that women have now adopted these dog ways. And what's crazy is that what men don't realize is that women can get away with it quicker than we do. Because women, let me tell you, because women are so emotional. When men cheat, women are emotional. Women are, they get emotionally involved. And that's why they will pop up, keep popping up. But a man, she said she had her link. She told him, she said, hey, listen, Tony on the throne. And I need you. And see, he understands that. He don't want to mess that up. So what is he going to do? He's not going to blow it up. He's going to say, I'm not going to blow your spot up. I had this, it's so funny. I had this argument with someone about some years ago on this same subject. And she swore up and down that men approach it differently. Said approach it the same way. I said, no, a man, because she was cheating. And see, a man will not blow up the spot. He will, listen. He will walk up to both of you all, and man, he'll spend more time talking to Tony than Danielle, because he already know I can't let him know what's going on over here, because I don't want that spot blown up. And see, and that's the problem. That creates that's the keg. Powder keg, because now once it is discovered, it creates. Listen, I want y'all to call in. Please call in. Please call in. This subject is getting hot. I want to ask a question, because I guess one of the questions that came up to me is that someone asked me, is it cheating when people have established that they're going to do their own thing, but they're together?
No, it's not cheating. It's an understanding. And see, I think that's what today's relationships, if you're going to live that kind of poly whatever lifestyle, right? Just be real about it. This is what we should do, right? Be real about it. That's it.
And I look at it like this. Cheating. Can I do what I'm doing right now, or say what I'm saying right now in the presence of my significant other? If the conversation that I'm having with you right now, if I can't have that conversation with my man sitting right here, then I don't think I need to be having it. It's a problem. If we can't do what we're doing in front of him, then we shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. So let me give conversation to, let's talk to cheater. Because someone is listening to this right now and you're cheating. Let me just say you're cheating. First thing I'm gonna say is this.
You got to know you cheat.
Yeah.
No, they know they cheat. 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 Let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. You're gonna get caught somewhere.
Absolutely.
You're gonna get caught. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, let me say this. You may not get caught in that situation. But you're eventually going to get caught.
Absolutely.
And see, what we tend to do is that, I didn't get caught over here, so let me party over there. But the reality is this: if you are doing that, and I'm really speaking to husbands too, husbands and wives, that if you are cheating, you're gonna get caught.
Yes, you are.
You are not that slick. No one is that slick.
Never.
You're not that cold. You're not. You're gonna get caught, because guess what? There's an old saying that goes, what's done in the dark always comes to the light.
Social media today, they can inbox you quickly when they see that.
And the whole listen, let me tell you something. I get tired of people say, they side chicks are winning and all that nonsense.
No,
that's nonsense. No one is winning in that situation.
No one. No. Everybody loses.
And let me tell these guys right now that want to do that. Like, these women are really someone wants to provide the number. The number is 708-223-8953. 708-223-8953. Go ahead.
So my thing is, and this may be a problem for me. It probably will benefit my marriage more so later than whatever. But I'm not the cheater.
Right.
I'm a commit 100.
Yeah.
So when you cheat on me, it's just, let's take this call, because see, my nerves getting real bad. Hold on. Thank you for calling. Give us your name and tell us where you're calling from.
My name is Nan. I'm calling from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay.
So what, can you turn up a little bit?
I did.
Oh, what's your name again?
Nan.
Diane, hey, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you guys?
Good.
We're good.
What's your question?
I just wanted, you guys wanted somebody to call in, so instead of me just listening, I thought, okay, let me call in. But I don't think it's ever, the cheating has been referred to as an addiction. And I think that cheating is an addiction.
It is.
And addictions can be overcome.
I believe that.
But if someone is, if you like mental stimulation and your partner does not provide that for you, then you meet a woman or a man that does provide that for you. That could take you on another route. If you got text messages, and if someone's not making you feel special, or if you don't feel like you're getting that physical attention, then it just kind of keeps feeding into that addiction. So I think with it being an addiction, it makes it very difficult to fix and to overcome, but it can be overcome, I believe.
Absolutely.
But you know what I noticed, Diane, that addiction points to other problems in your life, because, you know, cheating can be a form of self-medicating. That you're doing that to self-medicate over some other area in your life, this other void that you have in your life. Like when I think about the times I did do it myself, and let me say this, let me go on record to say this: no one makes you cheat. I want to say it again: no one makes you cheat. That's a decision that you make on your own. No one put a gun to your head. No one said, I don't care how bad that person is. And I think that what happens is that we don't take an intellectual approach to our problems, in which we pause for a minute and say, hey, think about, if I do what this person just did to me, I'm putting myself in the same situation that this person is in. So I hear people say that I cheated because this person did this and did that to me. So thank you for that. We have another caller we want to take at this time. So
thank you for calling. Have a great day.
You're welcome. You too.
Thank you for calling. Give us your name and tell us where you're calling from.
This is Tiffany calling from Indiana.
Hi, Tiffany. How are you?
Indy. Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. What's your comment or your question?
So my question is to the panel: have any of you ever been the cheater? And if so, how did you deal with that? How did you change that? Or, that's kind of what I want to know.
So your question is, has anyone on the panel ever cheated?
Have any of you ever been the cheater in the relationship and realized that it was something that you needed to change or what have you? And how did you do that? How did you overcome that?
Well, let me start with me. I was a cheater. And one of the things I had to do is that I had to take responsibility over my own actions. That I couldn't blame the person for what I did. And I remember at times I did do that. I would sit around and I would say, well, had she done about my issues, pour into me and share with me. And he started connecting the dots and showing me that, hey, listen, this is what's wrong with you. This being committed, you have to see the things that have hurt you and have damaged you and try to do things opposite of that.
That's good. That's good. So I have a second part question. So really for the ladies, I know that, and I'm just speaking for me personally, have been a committed participant in the relationship, and then the relationship began to have some challenges where you were not being fulfilled emotionally or mentally or spiritually or what have you, and you found someone else filling that missing link for you. So you may not have cheated physically with someone, but mentally and emotionally you begin to connect with someone. Have either of you ever experienced that, and how did you deal with that?
So yes, I've experienced that. I normally deal with the alpha type of man, right? So one is usually enough for me, right? But you can, as a woman, we are emotional beings, right? So it's very easy for someone to come in and have a conversation with you, or open the door for you, or do some things that your partner may not be doing that gets you attached to them emotionally. So yes, that has happened. But being a person that deals with alphas, they take up all my time, attention, my love, and my head space. But that is absolutely happening, and it can happen.
How about you, Ken?
Yes, I have. And mine was more so because the relationship that I was in was a long distance relationship. And so I was getting a lot of things, but your physical being wasn't here. So when I wanted to go out and just go to the show or just do whatever I wanted to do, you thousands of miles away from me. So I did. But, when that didn't work, I'm like, let's just whatever. So,
and it's so easy to get attached to someone. I mean, because when a person has abandonment issues, like, let me speak about me. What's your name again? I'm sorry. Tiffany. When a person has abandonment issues, what they tend to do is that they always run to what they deem safe places. So if this person has said, okay, well, I'm not going to do this for you, they're always going to run away from that person and find someone who would do that. And so I think at some point you have to do some, mental assessment of yourself. You have to look at, what's really wrong with me? What's on the inside? Why am I emotionally attaching to people? Because listen, there's always going to be someone who can do something better than the person that's with you. Listen, if you're in a relationship with a person, he can be a millionaire. Guess what? There's somebody out there that has more money than he has. And so thank you for calling in. We have another call. We want to take this other calls. Okay. So thank you.
Thank you for calling. Thank you for calling. Give us your name and tell us where you're calling from.
Corey. Calling from Lansing, Illinois.
Corey is about to get married, y'all.
Yeah. Corey. You got all your cheating out the system, Corey?
Corey is a great dude.
Nobody asked you.
No,
I asked Corey a question. Corey, has all of your cheating been have you got it out your system?
You got it out,
Oh, that's all I need to know.
My man.
Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, I think that cheating, it can be cured. It's a phase. People go through phases, and they can't get it. Once they get it out their system, I know that I'm ready. I 15 days. I got 15 days, and I'm getting married.
That's great. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations to your wife.
Okay? Yeah, listen. I don't say this. I'm very careful when I say this about men, but Corey and Keisha are a dime. I mean, they are a needle in a haystack when it comes to relationship. And Corey is an amazing guy. He's going to be an amazing husband for Keisha. So salute to you, bro.
Yay, congratulations, and thank you for calling.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
I want to say this. When the question has been posed several times, the title of our show is cheating curable. One of the things that you have to understand is anytime you say, is it curable? You have to want to be cured.
Yeah.
If I am a diabetic, I cannot say I want to be cured from diabetes, but I'm eating sugar cakes all day long. If you want to stop cheating, you can.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. So let's take this call. Thank you for calling us and tell us where you're calling from.
Hi, this is Yolanda, formerly from Chicago.
Hi, Yolanda. Thank you for calling.
Okay. Yes. I just have a question in regards to cheating. At what certain age do we decide that we need to think on the upper level? cheating comes from, just like my boy said, it's a self-esteem issue. That's my belief. It's something that they're dealing with. But when you reach a certain age, you need to go get health treatment or something like that. But you need to be focusing on retirement, not cheating.
You said focus on retirement and not cheating?
Yeah, your finances.
Let me.
Because another jumping from another woman ain't going to help you.
Well, even if you're jumping to another man, but let me sort of explain something, man. I don't know where that comes from when people think that automatically at a certain age that people are just going to stop acting a certain way. That ain't got nothing to do with it. I mean, you got guys, man, that have gotten so settled in their finances, they taking care of all their kids, their business, and they still choose to be out and play the field. My grandfather, God bless him, man. My grandfather was 84, 83 when he passed. My granddaddy was dating a set of twins. Yeah. When he passed away, there was like 35 years younger than him and was wearing him down. So I mean, that's
no, I don't think it's the age.
It's not an age issue. I can promise you that. Some people
I get what you're saying. I guess what I'm saying is it's time for us to mature and think of things at a different level than what we did.
I mean, I had a conversation with him before he passed. It wasn't what he felt, which I thought was very mature, is that he said he still got a healthy appetite. See, some people are just
that's not a healthy appetite.
Well, when I say healthy appetite, meaning that some people just are satisfied in different ways by different people. See, what I try to stay away from judging people because everybody's personality is different. Some people are very satisfiable with one person. Some people don't get easily satisfied with even two people. I know some guys who are not satisfied with 5 or 6 right now who find it, but some people are going to pursue it.
And I understand. Listen. One of the things I do understand, I understand preferences. Everyone has their preference.
Yes.
But I'm saying that. But when your preference becomes damaging, to both, our entire the family structure, then you have a problem.
And that 80 is in jeopardy. It's because of 20.
And I'm gonna tell you what really jeopardized a lot of folk. And I say this a lot the last couple of months. I said some of these men that out here acting a fool in this bad way to classify, they can't afford to be fooling around. Some of them can't afford to have one girlfriend because some of them got kids running around loose that they're not taking care of. They're not taking care of their financial responsibilities. So they shouldn't get no playtime in my mind whatsoever at all. Even if they did want to have an uncommitted or tell people they want to have an uncommitted relationship with them, they just don't have the financial capability to even take care of their own responsibilities, let alone try to run around with multiple people. But that's a whole other. That might be a third show.
Well, Yolanda, thank you for calling in, Yolanda.
I mean, I know somebody that I was in relationship with, and I was in relationship with this person for years. And from the time throughout my relationship, throughout the marriage, throughout the separation, throughout the next marriage, throughout his marriages and current, he has never been faithful and still not faithful. Mm-hmm. And so I just believe that that's one of the people who he's just never going to be committed to a relationship. He's never going to commit to just one relationship.
He may be in search. That's a book in itself, I could write, called "Looking for the 100%." He may not have what he's looking for.
But I'm gonna tell you this: he don't even know who he is. So I definitely understood what you said earlier. He's always just got to have something.
And let me put this plug in it right here. Let me say this to the ladies. If you know this man is like this, stop thinking you can change him.
Yes, because you cannot.
Don't think that your body parts are more viable or more greater that you're gonna change him. At the end of the day, always remember, and I'm always in this mindset that there's someone that can do just a little bit more than you can.
And
so if this is who he is, this is what he is. Either you're gonna accept this as who he is, or you're gonna move on. But at the end of the day, you can't change him. And I tell people like this that who are in relationships who say, well, I'm gonna get married. Marriage is not the cure to cheating. It's not. It's not. You don't get married and it just all of a sudden turn your cheating switch off.
No.
If you want to stop it, you have to start to look at yourself. Like I said, I had to take some hard looks at myself. I had to take some hard looks. I had to say, okay, I had to look at the damage that I caused. And then how it made me look. I want to be a certain way in the eyes of God.
Yes.
And then, I want my name to be honorable. It said your name should be honorable among men.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there are some things that are attached to me that where people can say your name is not honorable, but that don't mean. One thing I do understand is you can't erase your past because that's written in pen. But you can, what's not written in pen, but what's written in pencil are the effects of your past. You can erase all the effects of it. Right. So, okay, this is what happened to me. This is what I did. So at the end of the day, I can't erase that. But what I can erase.
We know the truth.
And let me say this to other cheaters. I'm glad you brought that up. Let me say this to cheaters. I've learned one thing in life. Everybody has somebody that they can talk to that will say, I won't tell nobody.
And they're going to tell somebody.
And they're going to tell someone. I got a friend that I can say, hey man, I can tell you this because I know you ain't going to tell nobody. But guess what?
Tell nobody none of my business.
I tell all your business. I tell everybody that I'm praying for you to have a good marriage one day. So no, I'm just playing. But it's always a person on the other side of that coin that has another person. They say, don't tell. And it's six degrees of separation here, especially in Chicago.
So you
oh my God.
Business.
No.
It's such a small city. And
Shut up, man.
You're so not, because I'm gonna let the cat.
I am a friend to Kenyatta. I would never tell my friend's business. So, but at the end of but back to the program. But no, real talk. That you're going. It always comes out some way.
Yeah.
And let me say this. And I know I'm gonna get in trouble for this. The men gonna help me for this. No, they're not. Everything has a rhythm to it. Everything that has been created has rhythm to it. Your heartbeat has a rhythm to it. Your footsteps have a rhythm to it. You have a rhythm to your life. There's a certain, your rhythm may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then Danielle's rhythm may be 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 13. Now, when something is off rhythm because something has interfered in that rhythm.
Oh, yes.
And so when your rhythm is off, that's an indication that something is going wrong. And so to the cheaters, when you start cheating, your rhythm,
the chakras have entered the building.
I have a caller that said, I can't call because I'm at work right now, but I would say that cheating is often a result of emotional immaturity, intellectual immaturity, a lack of self-awareness, no strong sense of divine presence within. Women tend to reduce themselves to a conglomeration of emotions and your urges or desired portfolios and privileges. Yay to my doctor sister, Letitia Reeves.
That sums
pretty
everything
awesome.
up.
That's pretty awesome.
That sums it up.
Yeah.
So, and let me say this because I know the questions are going to come up. Well, there's a wife being cheated on. There's a husband being cheated on. And I always say, what should I do? I always say this. When it comes to marriage, it's a serious covenant. It's a covenant that God honors, that God created, and that He hates divorce. And I'm a divorcee, so I understand the damage that divorce can cause. I say to couples, if that's the case, seek counseling. I'm not saying to a wife leave immediately. I'm not saying to a man leave immediately. But what I am saying is that you should seek counseling in that, because sometimes I'm just, you remember back in the day, Tony, they had that television, with the antennas on it, and then you get that static on the screen. Sometimes you just have to adjust the antennas in your relationship. That's all it takes. Something it's just not fine tuned. So
And after I address those antennas and I move them to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the right, they break. And then I'm still trying to and then I put some foil on it. And then I stick a spoon. I take a hanger and I stick the hanger down inside of the antenna. Eventually, I'm going to get a new
Y'all
TV.
pray for my sister, man.
Eventually, the
Pray for
TV.
my sister. Pray for her.
What, am I lying? Pastor, my name is Kenyatta Shepherd, and my husband and I have just come to you for counseling. I've been married 10 years, and my husband has cheated 9.5 out of those years. I've been trying to do what the Lord has told me to do. I'm just making this story up. I've been in this marriage for 10 years. For 9.5 years, my husband has cheated on me. I want to be the perfect wife. He has 5 children outside of the marriage.
Jeez.
I've caught him so many times as a wife. What am I supposed to do?
Bring him in. Let's talk. Because I want to see what's going on.
My bags are in the car, though.
Bring them in
Wow.
and move in.
Bring them in and move in.
Almost move
Let me tell you
her in and move all the
what Mark
kids in.
said. Mark Chambers said cheaters need to just end the relationship and or the marriage and let the person go and just go do the junk. Therapy, not counseling, needs to be held for the cheater to find what is broken in them.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. Like, I disagree with that because I'm going to tell you why I
Cheater
disagree.
can't be.
Do is just talk about why he's angry. You need to get behind the anger and figure out, hey, dude, what's going on? You know, let me like, what's the problem? And what we don't do, and sometimes this thing is systemic, and sometimes, like I said, there are things. It's a learned behavior. Mine went all the way back to my childhood,
and your father probably did. Your grandfather probably did.
Absolutely.
You know,
another
it's
thing,
be faithful because my grandmother wasn't. My aunties are faithful. You know,
let me put this in also that a lot of times also, man, we slow to communicate, and we are definitely most of the time trying to be fixers. So when something is wrong, something we dissatisfied with, most of the time men are not going to complain. They're not. I found myself.
You do a good job communicating.
Now, yeah, but I mean, in the past, I would be like, you know what? I'd be the kind of person where if something's off, I wouldn't even want to say nothing to the woman. I'd be like, I'm gonna tell you why, because certain things can hurt a woman. This is a whole other show. The language you use in communicating, I have to even still deal with this even today. You have to be careful what you say to a woman, right? And the way that you say it.
Absolutely.
Because even though something may be your truth, don't mean it's not gonna crack her eggshell. Are you with me?
But is it gonna help the relationship? Because silence could very well.
It depends on how a person can receive the information. Because I'm telling you something. Some things that you may say is your truth can be so devastating to that individual, even if it's true, and hurt them to the point where they cannot uplift themselves to recover. Some people can go into. I've seen these type of things happen before, where a person can get so taken back by something somebody say to them that they can't recover properly in the relationship.
But isn't that your responsibility to make sure she knows that I got you, baby, and I'm gonna help you come
absolutely,
back?
But remember, it's not how you see the person; it's how they see themselves.
But what I'm saying is, and maybe you can help me with this. I mean, something as simple as I'm in a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I get up and I cook your eggs with butter every morning. And I've been doing this for 10 years. And you walk out of here and go to your office and you talk to your coworker, which is a woman. And she's constantly talking about how she scrambles eggs in bacon grease. That's what you want. Right. How come you just won't come home and say to me, baby, I love the way you've been cooking these eggs, but could you not do butter and just use bacon grease?
Well, if all were that simple, it would be marvelous and easy.
But it is that simple because you communicate that way. You just don't communicate the things that you don't want your person in a relationship that you might lose.
Let's reframe that situation and let's look at the 80-20 rule. Let's say your wife maybe she's cooking it in almond oil for whatever reason, right? You don't like it that way, but she takes pride in making it like that, and you still eat it, right? But you get to the job and this woman's cooking it the way you want to cook. She's got the grease, she's got the bacon grease going, and you know what? You say to yourself, man, she's cooking this right now right here in the little lunchroom, and she offers you a taste of that bacon.
And then she can say, I cook all these other things, and you would, instead of you opening your mouth and saying to your wife, and give her the option to deal with it.
I am crystal clear, but guess what? Let me finish the story. Let's say that this is true. Let's say you tell the wife this. Now listen to what we said. Say, what? I actually saw a young lady at the job.
Don't tell me that. Right. You don't come tell me the woman in the break room baking eggs.
Y'all catch that?
Freeze.
Right there.
Let me tell you what. I was waiting to get this
proved exactly what I said.
You just proved
exactly what I said.
You just proved what he said.
Yeah,
now, this is true story. I sat under. I watched this white couple. I was watching this white man. He was up preaching one day, and he was talking about his struggles. He said, "Yeah, I remember. I'll never forget. You know, I was working this job. He's a veterinarian, and while working this job, he came home. He got attracted to the lady that he was working with. Said she was beautiful and all that stuff. He said he came home and told his wife, "Yeah, I'm attracted to her." Oh no! No, wait, let me finish. He came home and said, "I'm attracted to her. She's beautiful, and I need some more attention to you." Now I'm sitting there, and immediately I said, "Man, why they do that?" You know what I'm saying? Why they do that? No. Let me tell you why I said that. I didn't say that because it just popped in my head. I said that out of experience, because I've come to learn today that in a relationship, if you can't be brutally honest with a person and say, "Hey, Tony should be able to come home and tell Danielle, listen, there's a fine girl on my job. She dresses like this, and I am struggling today."
Okay, that's a different story.
But you saw how you just said it. I didn't say that I was attracted. I didn't even say I was attracted to him. I said, man, she cooked these eggs at the company. And you're like, why are you telling me that part?
So let me ask you this
100% of the wrong truth.
Still have not answered. This is what I'm saying. You can't say to me in a loving way or just suggest, babe, let's try, or can you just try to cook this different? Try to do it like this.
Can I tell you what happened?
What? I'm sorry. Wait. Telling me about Hold on.
Go ahead.
Woo, thank you for calling us. Give us your name and tell us where you're calling from.
I would like for my name to be anonymous.
Okay, anonymous, we'll take you. Hi.
How you doing, everyone?
Hello.
The question I have is, what if you meet a gentleman and you've been in that relationship with him for like 3 months, and he's going through a divorce, and in the divorce, he cheated on the wife and got the other lady pregnant, and then they broke up, and he met someone else. And when he met someone else, he wanted to have a relationship after telling them the truth about his situation. Ooh. Do you feel that relationship, or do you run from it?
I run, number one, because he's married. Until he is divorced, I don't have nothing for you, sweetie pie.
No, but hold on. That's
my
point. Wait. Now, let me say the back piece to that. That don't mean she's not saying. You say run from, meaning that you just got to be guarded, and I think that a person needs to observe what's going on. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Whenever people say to run from someone who's being upfront and keeping it 100 with you, see, you can't have it both sides of the spoon. Some people saying they want the truth. But when the person tells the truth, now you ready to run from them. Sometimes when a person if a person's telling you the truth, you need to be able to say, you know what? Let me just watch this situation, continue to communicate. That don't mean you have to be dealing with the person physically or anything like that. But you should respect when a person tells you the flat out honest truth like that, because that's what everybody claiming they're looking for anyway.
Okay, but in the honesty, it'll allow me to make the decision. And once you've been honest with Kenyatta, I'm out of here.
Because if you don't let a person live in their honesty and at least observe, I didn't say she had to stop. Oh no! I mean, she should be able to still be able to communicate.
Anonymous. Let me ask you this question. I
definitely get Devereaux. I knew he was going to go there, but I hear you, Devereaux.
No, Anonymous. Let me ask you this question, Anonymous. If you met someone right now, and they walked up to you and say, "You know what? I smoke crack in my life." What would be your response to them?
I would run.
Right. Why would you run?
No, because if he smoke crack once and he don't have Jesus, he'll smoke it again.
Well, let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. No. Let me say this to you.
Okay,
so
ma'am.
I'm gonna repeat your situation, but then I'm gonna put a caveat to him. I'm gonna say he did get a divorce. What you should do is ask him, how did you manage to not repeat that cycle that you created over there? What type of help did you get? I think that you should ask a question, because some people, listen, you never know a person's deliverance date. Everybody has a deliverance date.
Be patient enough.
Right. And so this person that you might meet may have been delivered from that, but you don't know if he's been delivered from that. So you have to ask the question, okay, how did you overcome that mess that you created over there?
Absolutely.
And so I think that should be a question, because I'm not going to tell you immediately. I'm saying it like this, but I understand what Kenyatta says. Kenyatta said if he's married, run. If he has not divorced, you don't need a conversation with him. But what I am saying is that if he has divorced and he has that in his background, you should ask the question, okay, what did you do to overcome it? And if he just said, well, I just stopped. I think that should be a major red flag for you, because that is some serious stuff that he created in his life.
And when he's married and you just being a friend and listening, you can get attached to that person. And who's just going to say, I'm just going to make sure I talk to him?
There's nothing wrong with her just being able to have dialogue with this individual. You follow me? So
but you have to stop doing.
That's true. We got to stop doing this, making it seem like when a person this is why, and men will use this, watch this, and use this and say, because what that woman said, that's the exact same reason why I'm going to continue to be out here telling lies. I'm going to tell you what you got to do. You got to always be willing to accept the truth and not judge someone instantly to say you're going to run based on them giving you their truth.
Well, Tony, I have to say this. I'll say this. If he is married, if he is still married,
I'm not going to counsel him while you're married.
I ain't got a baby mama. That's not his wife.
Anonymous is saying, should I still be?
Okay.
I don't have a problem with you being honest with me, saying this is what I had. I was married. This is what I did. This is where I am. Which gives me the option to say, Kenyatta, do you want to deal with this or you don't?
Right. Y'all may just be cool. Y'all may end up being friends.
I had someone, and I respect this. I had someone ask me, so did you cheat in your marriage? Did you cheat on your relationship? Tell me about your last relationship. I mean, send me through the gambit. And I respect that, because this person is trying to figure out what I'm getting into.
Absolutely.
We investigate everything else. Why don't we investigate love?
And why can't you be honest about your past too? That person asks.
And it makes it easier, because if you are straightforward with me in the beginning, you may say, I like having 2 and 3 women. There are women out here that's okay.
Honesty is key in that fact, though.
Kenyatta's not okay with that.
We need to adopt what I call the Asian principle.
And the moral of the story is what? Because you guys are saying a lot of things that I know. One said run, but the gentleman earlier, I heard what he said, and it all makes a lot of sense. But in all essence, do you just leave that relationship alone?
While he's married, Kenyatta say while he's married.
When you say leave it alone, I say there's nothing wrong if that's somebody you have an interest in, to be able to see what happens over time. But that doesn't mean they have to be dealing with each other. See,
separated.
They can be separated, and you're
He's married.
Anonymous, let me ask you this question. So I can get some.
Still have to have some dialogue.
Hold on. Anonymous, let me ask you this question. Are you saying leave the relationship alone? Are you still like gaining emotional attachment to them, like you're hanging out with them, being intimate and all that stuff?
Yes, there is dating, going out, and yes, it is.
Yeah.
And
no, don't even get yourself caught up.
You have to. That part is. I'll say this.
Don't even get yourself caught up in that.
I'll say this to you, Anonymous. If this is you didn't say it was you, so I'm not going to say if it's you. Hypothetical. If it's you, I encourage you to leave that alone. Because listen, you can't read 2 chapters at the same time and understand the book.
No, 3.
Well, 3 chapters. Exactly. At some point, you have to end one chapter before you begin the next chapter. So I encourage. Listen, let me tell you something. This coming from me. I have experience in it. I tried to write 2 chapters at the same time, and my book didn't make sense.
2 different languages.
It doesn't make sense. You have to finish the first. Let him finish that chapter in his life before you become. Because what's going to happen is that it's not going to be a new chapter. You're going to be a continuation of that same chapter.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to leave it alone. It's not going to work out in your favor.
And let me be transparent with you, Anonymous. I was in a relationship with an ex who was married. He was separated. And I was the connector. I was the listening. And I was this. And he constantly kept telling me he was getting divorced. I'm getting divorced. And I was going along with the ride until I asked. He actually told me for so long until I said, can I at least see the divorce papers that have been served? When I asked for those divorce papers and he could not present them, guess where he ended up? Within no time, he was back with his wife.
Yeah, I had a similar experience. I dated a man for quite some time who were married.
Back with his wife.
Just said. Well, I truly appreciate all of y'all's answers, and I'm going to follow the first two. I'm going to adopt a relationship.
And I'm praying your strength because I know it's not going to be easy.
And Anonymous, let me say this to you. Trust me. God has something better for you.
Yes, he does.
Amen.
And
God has something better for you that, well, you don't have to deal with all of that.
Absolutely.
I think there's some bags that you don't need to carry.
That's right.
Seriously, some bags you don't need to carry. God has something better for you. So I think at some point, you're making the right decision. Trust me. But I'm going to tell you what's about to happen to you, right? There's going to be a sad story. He's going to pull out the violin and he's going to try to make you seem so wrong. And the cello. And he's going to try to make you seem like you are so wrong for abandoning him and leaving him.
And it's time
but at the end of the day, God gave you one. He gives you this right. And the right is called self-preservation. You're preserving yourself. You're making sure that you don't hurt you in the process.
Yes,
and let me make this suggestion to you. During your season of trying to separate from him, make sure that you are surrounded with the right people and stay strong. Do whatever you need to do to get free. If it's to delete the number, if it's to stop going in familiar places, if it means that you delete him off Facebook, social media, whatever you need to do to be free, it's okay for you to do it and be all right with it.
And I don't know the rapper's name. But I forgot his name. But he made a powerful song. You need to cut it.
You need to cut it. You need to cut it. Thank you so much for calling us. Have a great day.
Amen. Oops. Yeah. But it's a mess to get involved with married. It's a mess.
Listen, before we go, I want to say, Danielle, what are the keys? Because we're talking, what are the keys to a healthy relationship? Two things. Name two things that are healthy.
One, communication. Healthy communication. No matter what it is, you need to be able to talk about it, and that will cure cheating. If we can really just talk about it, and I can get an understanding, or really you just letting me know, one, I ain't crazy. I know this is it. This is real, and then you allow me to know that, okay, this is still something I want to do. It's up to me to make my decision whether I'm going to stay there or not. So one, communication is key. And time spent. You have to think about what that person's love language is. Amen. And you have to cater to that love language. You just have to. So find out what that person's thing is, their love language, and communicate with that person. That'll cure a cheater all day.
Two things, Tony. Tell me.
Well, I call it a three-way combo. If in a relationship, both parties are not trying to help each other grow emotionally, if both parties are not trying to help each other grow financially, and also if both parties are not trying to help each other grow spiritually. So spiritually, emotionally, and financially, when them three things are lining up and they're looking to try to help you birth greatness out of yourself, if you get somebody that is trying to help you birth your purpose, then you're in the right place. But if you feel like you with someone who you have, you don't see yourself growing, or your connections are not powerful together, then you just might not be with the right person.
Two things, Kenyon.
I know you said two, but I'm gonna give you three, and I know people gonna think I'm deep, but God, communication, and honesty. And when I say that, let me explain my God, because we go to God in prayer about everything: cars, jobs, houses. But when it comes to relationships, we don't seem to want to pray and say, God, is this the one? And I'm telling you, one of the times that I did that, he led me all the way out of town to see what I needed to see.
Oh, yes.
And had I not been obedient and followed the voice of the Lord, I would never have known and found out what I needed to. So at the end of the day, I'm in a season. If I'm praying, if I'm with you, I'm praying about it. If you're not for me, I'm out of here.
So before I get my two, I do want to take this time because I really want, how can people get in contact with you, Danielle, first?
Wonderful.
And what you have going on?
Well, you can follow me on IG at Adore Her. That's ADOUR, because you are important. HER Inc. ADOURHER Inc. And you also can find me on Facebook at Danielle L. Robinson or Adore Her Inc. Just follow us, join the movement, come and have some conversations. We're on Facebook Live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, talking about whatever it is that we need to talk about to get ourselves real talk, real raw talk stuff. So that's how you can find me. Find me on IG at Adore Her Inc. and Facebook at Danielle L. Robinson.
Please follow her. She's doing some great things. I think, ladies, that you connecting with her would be beneficial for your life. So please. Also, how about you, Tony?
Well, definitely one which you can go and check out the book, the BitcoinFormula.info, and get subscribed to our email list there to find out about emerging technology.
How can they get this book?
The book is, you can download it. You can get it actually at that link at the BitcoinFormula.info. An amazing site of information for you. We went to 50 different countries to gather that information for you personally. So definitely take that time to do it. And also, you can follow on Facebook. We do have a group page called Antonio DeVoe Digital Internet Marketer. You can connect there. We always have content things there as well. And also, I'm working on my next book that's going to be coming out. Is 999 things you need to know about the right one. So we're going to have a relationship.
We also
You have to know who you are and that you do not deserve being cheated on. Because a lot of the times we as women will always say there's something wrong with me, or what did not do right, or should I have done this? No. Once you know who you are and know how important you are, and you wear your crown straight and keep it on your head, you won't have those problems. You won't deal with that.
Yes,
you just won't deal with it.
I want to thank Tony and Danielle for coming. We're going to give more conversation, bring them back on the show because they are
part 3 to this.
We
for real. I got some questions you need to put on this.
They are some people to know. They are definitely investors financially, and so we're going to definitely have a show where we deal with some level of I know that Danielle go to Bright Star Church.
Right. Come on, you don't have to get Bright Star to no church.
Yes, Bright Star.
The church ain't begging on you.
That Bright Star. Question we want to know.
The church ain't begging on you.
What they got to do with cheetah?
So I should even saw that. I love Barcy, somebody special. So but there are some people to connect with, what they're doing. So we're gonna definitely give conversation to them. My thing is this, I want to close out with saying this, that cheating has detrimental effects to both the cheater and the one that's being cheated on, and the family at large. Our community relationships have suffered in our community greatly. The lack of Black love and Black excellence is in Black excellence in love is very limited today,
and responsibility.
And people are not championing marriage. They're not saying, hey, let's get married, because so many marriages are breaking apart. So I encourage all to understand that if you are cheating, there are detrimental effects to it, that it's going to, what'd she say?
You got on a disco galore.
I get her later about them shoes. So it's going to have an effect on the family and you at large, and you're going to eventually get caught. At some point, something is going to happen that's going to really hurt you. It doesn't help you; it hurt you. And I believe that the two things that will help a relationship is truth and transparency.
And a good male best friend that's going to be honest with you and let you in on some of the truth.
Not the one you sleep with.
Not the one you sleep with, but you got to get a male best friend that's going to be honest with you and tell you the
all about
Polonius said in Hamlet. He said in Hamlet, "To thy own self be true." And at some point, you have to be true to yourself. You have to know who you are, what you are. You have to know your flaws and be honest with yourself. And then you have to. And when you meet someone, the key to a healthy relationship is that be truthful with that person. Let that person know where you've been. You know, you can't go somewhere if you don't know where you've been. You have to know where you've been in order to get to where you're going.
Yeah.
And then be openly transparent. Say, hey, listen, these are my struggles. These are the things. And give that person the opportunity to make that decision for themselves before you put them in something that's going to really tear things apart. And that's the truth, whether you like it or not. We're on Intellectual Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to have more conversations to this because there's so much more to talk about. Thank you and peace.
I exist, but that don't classify as life. Always did right, but what went wrong? My life seems to sing the same sad song. Sometimes when I'm weak is when I'm really strong. We've been endured for a night, but it seems long. Hurt, anger, non-believing. Please God, I hope that I'm dreaming.